Hi, I'm Bianca Miller-Cole, entrepreneur, author, and business mentor. And today I'm recording this video to take part in Mr. B Self-Made's Mental Health Awareness Challenge. So Byron, Mr. B Self-Made, also known as my husband, asked me to take part in his challenge. And initially I thought, what am I going to say that would kind of illustrate sometimes the mental health challenges that I guess entrepreneurs sometimes face. And I think if I'm honest, in the most part, I am used to dealing with stress and dealing with stress on a daily basis, and elements of or feelings of anxiety. But I don't think I truly understood what anxiety was, or that feeling of anxiety would mean, until this particular episode that I'm going to talk about in this video really briefly, which was Brian and I were planning this major conference. We had hundreds of tickets sold, and at the very last minute, our main act pulled out of the conference due to ill health, and it couldn't have been, it couldn't have been planned for, because you never know when you're going to be that sick that you can't attend an event, you can't fly. And that's essentially what happened to our main act. And so, that initial feeling of, I guess, not anger, because you can't be angry that someone's sick, but just that feeling of disappointment, sheer disappointment, but not just because they can't attend, but because you've promised, hundreds of people that that particular person's going to be there. And I just remember feeling that in that moment when we got that email from the team saying he's not coming, that sinking feeling, that just absolute dread, that feeling like, what am I going to do? And knowing that as an entrepreneur, we deal with problems on a daily basis. And that's why I say I'm used to dealing with stress. I'm used to dealing with feelings of anxiety. I probably take it for granted that that's just part and parcel with what comes with entrepreneurship. But that day, that moment of feeling, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Hundreds of people due to turn up. No time to rectify or change or anything. What do you do? And I remember the moment when we tried everything we could to make it better, or to make up for the fact that he wouldn't be there. And I remember going, drafting the email that was going to go out to all the attendees, and again, just that feeling of more than just that feeling of letting people down. Like, I don't like letting people down. I have not, in my last 9 years of being an entrepreneur, ever, and I mean ever, missed an event. It doesn't matter how sick I am, doesn't matter how tired I am, I have never missed an event. I remember once, we were in traffic on the way to one of our mentoring masterminds, and I jumped out the car on the motorway, ran down the motorway, found a train station to get on the train to get to that event on time. Never have I missed anything. So to feel like we were just letting people down, even though it was out of our control, that feeling is something that I cannot, or I do not ever want to feel again. And so I remember us kind of working on what we could do to make it better, to still go forward with the event. Do we cancel? Do we not? We knew so many people were looking forward to it. We knew a lot of people actually didn't even know the main act. They bought the ticket because of us, right? So that in itself was a great accolade, but also meant I knew that it would still be problematic for some. So anyway, send that email out, that feeling when that email went out, just waiting for the phone to start beeping, waiting for people to respond, waiting for responses. And then I recorded a video just to explain how I felt, and even then, just apologising because it was just out of our control, nothing we could do, but even then feeling really crap. And then that night, waiting for the next morning was the event, and that was when I realised what anxiety was. I was just literally in the room wanting to cry, but not being able to cry, just not feeling like I physically couldn't cry. And then just that feeling I need to run. And I know I don't know how to explain that, but I just had this feeling I needed to run. I needed to get the energy out. I needed to do something to make, and I'm not massive on running, by the way. And so leaving my hotel room and just running down the corridor. Probably annoying for those sleeping that night. I need to think about that. Never thought about that before. Anyway, running down the corridor just to try and feel like I could dispel some of that feeling in my body, and just not being able to sleep, not being able to cry, not being able to do anything, and just trying, knowing I needed, I had 3 hours before getting up that next morning, knowing I needed to sleep to be on top form, but just not being able to, and just knowing that next day I had to face everyone. That, I guess, is my biggest story to share. It was a tough time. We got through it, obviously, and I think that's the thing about, that's the thing about moments in life, right? You get through it and you remember it, and you remember how it felt, what you did, what you could have done better, and so on, but you do get through it. So that's my story. Thanks, Byron, for the challenge, and I hope more of you take part and share your mental health issues or things that have happened to you, and really just embrace the feeling that you will get through it as we go into National Mental Health Awareness Week. Thanks, Byron. Bye.